interviewing. Where were you born and when?
I was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, September 12th, 1939, a long time ago.
I was born in Clintonville, Wisconsin, June 13th, 1938.
What is your full name and why were you named it?
My name is Margaret Jean, and it was Weber before I married your grandpa. And I was named Margaret because back in those days when you named a child, you did not name them a nickname, and my dad wanted a Peggy so he could do this Peg on My Heart song, and that's how I got named Margaret.
And I don't know why I was named Thomas. I wasn't the one that could make that decision. I don't know why.
Did you ever have a nickname when you were growing up, and what was it?
I did. I had Tim Bone.
Tim Bone?
Tim Bone the grease box.
What?
I told you that.
Why'd you get that name, nickname?
I think because I was always a dirty little boy.
And my nickname is Peggy because it's a nickname for Margaret. And my dad wanted a girl named Peggy, so that's how come I got called that nickname.
Do you remember your grandparents and what do you know about them?
You go.
My grandma and grandpa were both born in Poland. And I never met my grandfather because he died before my mother was even married. But I do remember my grandma talking with her strong Polish accent, cooking good Polish food, telling us stories about when they were in Poland. And the bad guys, I don't know what they were, the Kazakhs, the Russian Kazakhs were after them. I remember her saying that my grandpa, to get away from them, hung by his fingers inside an outhouse down in the well of an outhouse to get away from the Kazakhs, and they never found him. But that's why they came to America, because of the situation there.
My grandparents only saw 2 or 3 times a year and never really had talked to them very much, so they never told me any of their experiences.
How is the world different from when you were a child?
Ooh, there's a big difference.
Everything was cheaper.
Yeah.
We managed to play games outside that kids don't even play anymore.
And you didn't have all
Jump
the
rope,
conveniences
hopscotch,
that
hide
you
and
have
go
now.
seek, kick the can. We played outside from morning until night. We came home for lunch if we were hungry, otherwise we didn't. And we were outside all the time. And we managed to not be, I'm bored, like some of the kids are today.
What was your school like and what did you wear to school?
Oh boy.
I went to a Catholic grade school and we had to wear a shirt and tie every day. And it was just a lot different than it is today.
And when we went to school, girls could not wear slacks or pants, jeans. We all wore skirts or dresses to school every day.
What was your first job? How did you decide on your career?
Go ahead.
I worked at a sausage store, a homemade sausage store, part-time. I think it was 55 cents an hour during the week and 65 cents an hour on Sunday. I was a junior in high school at the time, and I did that just so I could have money to buy things for myself. But I don't know if I ever really picked a career.
Well, my first job, I worked at a terminal storage warehouse for 7 years, and it was just the first job I got, and then I decided I wanted to go into some maintenance work and do other things.
How long did you have to work each day at your job?
8 hours.
I'm not answering that one because, well, part-time, I don't remember how many hours I did.
Do you remember the first date that you had with your spouse?
Do you remember?
Yeah, I do.
Give
I
us
remember it.
some details, please.
I remember she was rejected by somebody else, and
That wasn't, okay.
that was my
Finish.
our first date.
When?
And I took her for a ride to make her feel better, and from then on we started seeing each other.
Took her for a ride in what?
In his
My
57 Ford.
1953 Ford.
53 Ford. Brand new.
Oh, brand new?
But I never considered that a date. Not.
Well, that's
You rescued me.
Apparently made a mark on
Say it
Dad.
was a
That's
date.
guys.
What U.S. president have you admired the most and why?
John Kennedy is my favorite.
Me too.
What was the most stressful experience that you have had to live through?
You answer that.
My most stressful one was when your dad had his motorcycle accident when he was
14.
no,
12.
He was 12. Because he was in really bad shape. I was afraid he was going to die. So it was very, very hard for me. He came through.
Not completely.
He said not completely.
What did you find the most difficult about raising children?
Oh my goodness. The most difficult. Well, each one of them is different.
When it became teenagers, that's when it was the most
That was
difficult.
when it was the
Otherwise, it
hardest,
was
when they were
easy.
teenagers. We were busy all the time, but it was a nice busy. I mean, you didn't have really time to think about how hard this is, because it wasn't easy. When John and Becky and Barry were little, they were all a year apart. That was like having triplets almost. So it was hard, but we managed.
Who was the person that had the most positive influence in your life? Who were they and what did they do?
Well, my mother did. My mother was the greatest influence on my life because she taught me how to cope with a gang of kids and just to do the right thing all the time. And she did. She worked hard, and I tried to be like her.
My dad wasn't my influence. He was a guy that could do everything. He was an old farmer and mechanic, and he could fix anything and do anything.
Kind of like
Why are you living where you are today?
You can answer that.
Well, lived there for 46 years. And I guess because we always liked our wild, big backyard and neighborhood. No city around us.
Look at my foot. What is the most beautiful place that you have ever visited?
Still don't know.
Probably the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, I think so. But then when we went and saw Mount Rushmore, that was great, and we've taken a couple cruises, but I can't remember any of the sights that we saw on the cruises. I still think the Grand Canyon is the most beautiful sight I've ever seen because it doesn't look real.
What is your favorite TV program?
I don't know if I have one. Good, you answer that.
I don't know.
You like a favorite program?
Yeah.
Well, Grandpa likes the History Channel.
Yeah, I just like all the History Channels and National Geographic, and I don't really have one specific program.
I don't either. Not really.
What's your favorite season, holiday, sport, meal, candy, drink, and game?
My favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. And football is my favorite sport. What was the other one?
Holiday or season, meal, candy, drink, and game.
Okay. Beer. No, you give yours.
Favorite holiday, I think probably would be Thanksgiving too. I like all the good things there are to eat. Favorite sport, I like baseball.
There's still season, game, and candy.
What is that?
Season, game, and candy.
My favorite season.
Oh, I love
I think,
fall.
yeah, fall would be my favorite season. Favorite drink and game?
Candy, game, and drink.
I like to play Scrabble. And
What's still today?
coffee is my favorite.
And then candy.
Candy, chocolate, any chocolate, my favorite. What about you?
Chocolate's one of my favorites. I like all candy. Almost all. Is that the last question?
Yeah.
Oh, we're all done.
Wrap it up, Claudio.
How?
How you-
See you for the last line. Thank you for this interview.
Then Grandma's got to give you a smooch.
He doesn't say that.
No.
He doesn't say that. He's supposed to say it.
What did you say for homework? Oh boy. There you go. That's a wrap.
Take on my heart, your glances make my heart say, how first chances, come be my own. Come make your home in my